Hey everyone, what's going on? It is Watkinks Glen, Pan Am Racing. My name is Nick, and I'm going to be joined by Joe, and we're going to take you through this race's proceedings. We're just finishing off qualifying at the moment, so as you can see, just everyone is finishing up their laps. We've got a good, pretty good field as well, a field of 25. Joe, how are you this morning Australian time, evening American time? How are you today?
Very well, thank you, Nick. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in the combox with you, and good to be having a look at a Pan Am race again.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've commentated together, so it's just like riding a bike. So as you can see there, we're finishing up. Gage Gonzalez, no surprise there that he is the head of the field, so a cracking time of 1:43.9 around Watkins Glen. Coffin, Marlowe, Smith, Stanley, that's your top five. Afonso, I'm Not Jimmy, that's a familiar name for Pan Am. Who else do we have still out on the circuit? Just trying to get my stuff together here as well. There we go. I'll go F3 and then just getting all this sorted. Everyone just bear with us. There we go, that's a little bit better. Alright, so qualifying's all done. I'll get everything up in a second. Put that up. Let me bring up the tower so you can all see that. There we go, that's a bit better. We have visual on that. Beautiful. Alright, so we're all set to go. So yeah, Gage Gonzalez, great time from him there in the Honda.
Pretty it's gonna, a few drivers are gonna keep Gage honest in this one. A couple of tenths covering the first three. It's very positive to see.
As we can see just there, the top three extremely close. So hopefully we get a challenge for Gage this evening. I think the last time out he was able, like the last couple of times he's been able to do it without much challenge. So we'll see how he goes today. Stu Barkley, what's going on, my man? How are you? Retro Coffin, I would say that's our Coffin from the server. How are you all today? Hope you're well. It is the same. Yep, cool. Alright, so we're just going to wait for things to get underway. I think we've got everything up where it needs to be. So, Watkins Glen, a little bit about Watkins Glen, 5.43 kilometre circuit. These guys have raced here before. I do remember the last time that we raced here for Pan Am, there was a couple of cars that came undone at turn 11, which can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So we'll see if that happens again today. But yeah, it's a fun circuit. What are your thoughts on the track, Joe?
It is a fun circuit. I haven't actually driven around here on ACC. I did have a lot of fun around here on back in the Project Cars 2 days on console, and it's a track that does bring plenty of action, and if you can really get into the flow of it and get into your groove, it's a very, very fun place to drive.
Alright, maybe let's take a look at it, eh? Yeah, there we go. And then, alright, let's go for a little bit of a little wee wander around the circuit. So this is turn 1, so plenty of action usually happening here as well. But then that leads us into pretty much the fastest part of the circuit, where these guys will be flat out usually up through here through turn 2 and then the left-hander of turn 3. So flat out part of the circuit, and by this stage you're up in sort of 5th or 6th gear into the bus stop chicane, or they like to call it the inner loop, whichever you like to refer it to. But always plenty of action happening through here as well, so we'll see if anyone if we get any action, especially around the first couple of laps here as well, with plenty of traffic. Then once you make it out of there, turn 5, this is the outer loop. So it's a long gradient right-hander, as you can see. And then it starts to really sort of work into the more sort of technical part of the circuit. This part here, I love this name, turn 6, called the chute. So they go down to here. And then turn 7, which is the toe, just through here as well. So once again, sort of hard braking areas, and then moving around back up into where I think I've just lost myself a little bit. Oh, I think this is the boot up here as you come up and oh no, sorry, I've gone around in circles there. No, that's yeah, you finish it off just here with turn 9 and turn 10. So turn 10 potential lap invalidations as well, which is just through here. You can see a lot of runoff area through there as well. So, and then back onto the front straight where we have a fine looking grid of 25 cars. So they will be getting away shortly, but that's a little bit of an ad hoc little track walk, and we will be getting things underway momentarily, as I can hear the engines have started, and these guys will be moving away from the grid for this one for a 60-minute race. Track temperature, it's 33 degrees track temperature, it's 25 degrees air temperature. It's optimum conditions, so we're in store for a good race, I think, with those sort of conditions. Can't see any rain that will be happening. So they all make their way off the line.
It's a really good sized grid. 25 cars. It's really good to see. Well done to Pan Am putting this on. It's a non-championship race around Watkinks, Glen. So this is, I guess, this circuit, these guys would consider as much as what us Aussies do Bathurst. So this would be one that you'd want to win, being a Pan Am racer.
Lots of undulations as well. So let's move our way through the field. So Retro Coffin, Tyler Marlowe is beginning the race in third. Kenneth Smith is another driver that I think he's a pretty regular in Pan Am. He's in fourth spot. Then you got Christian Granero. Sorry if I've just butchered your name there, Christian. Drew Stanley, he's going to start in sixth. Andre Alex Afonso in the 999 Mercedes. He'll be doing the race in P7. I'm not Jimmy. We're all very accustomed to that bright pink livery. He's going to begin in 8th spot. Chris Bosick in 9th. John Cannon in the Porsche. Sorry we couldn't get your livery up, John. We tried. That's why we missed qualifying, but hopefully next time for you. Claudio. No, I'm not even going to try that, Claudio. Terrell Lance, that's another familiar name. Is he in the Nissan? Yeah, there he is. What about Sean Vincent? That's another familiar name in the Aston Martin. I do like that livery there. Matt Paint. Chris Rise in 14th. 15th is Diallo Fon. Matthew Point in 16th. Henry Moore. This is a massive grid. 17th. 18th is Andrew Borton. 19th is Dixon Hurst. Then you've got John Rohrer. That's a familiar name as well. Stephen Tomazic. Oliver Jacobs in 22nd. Brad Lee. Where are you, Brad? There you are, in the Lamborghini. He's going to start the race in 23rd. 24th is John Donnelly. And we've got Ken Scott bringing up the rear there in 25th position. So it's a massive grid. But leading them all is that man in the Honda, Gage Gonzalez. A very, very familiar position to see him in. So we're about to get this one underway. start to form up now, coming through turn 10. So this is where I was mentioning earlier. Can invalidate the lap through here. So we'll see if there's any track warnings. It hasn't been in the past, both in Ruse and Pan Am racing. So hopefully that stays that way today. Alright, here we go. About to get the signal, and we're going to get 60 minutes of Watkinks Glen for Pan Am racing underway. Gage Gonzalez on the dirty side of the track there. Here we go. There's the signal. So Gage got a pretty good start. So did Retro Coffin. We're all going to file into turn 1. There's 3 wide. Back through there as well. They make it all through nice and smoothly. Looks like we've got a little bit of contact there as well, but no cars that have turned around, so they've all managed to get through turn 1 without any dramas. But it's Gage Gonzalez leading them away. I think we've got a
absolute car in the back of the field.
It is. Oh my goodness gracious me! Have a look at that. There is cars strewn everywhere. Wow. That would be a big... There's the Porsche just ramming his way through. Wow, that's huge. That's what, 3, 5, 6 cars involved in there. Chris Rise, Diallo Fon, Dixon Hurst, Andrew Burton, John Donnelly as well, Ken Scott, and Christian Granierio were all involved there, as was John Cannon. As you can see, he's bearing the scrapes and marks from that one. So that was a big one through turn 10. But it looks like we're still under racing conditions, or no, we're under. Looks like it's yellow. By the looks of things, I've never seen a safety car in this game actually before. So here's John Donnelly. He's moving away. That's the Porsche. Oh no. So Chris Rise is in there. Yeah, Diallo Fon, Dixon Hurst. So we've got a few guys that are... This is Ken Scott that we're looking at. So that does not look like he's having a very good time right now. Yeah. That steering angle. Look at that. He cannot get it right. That's brutal.
Oh, he's just riding out the fence to try to get through.
And that's it for him.
That's solid. That follow. Just looking at the replay of this one, and the Pan Am crew, I'm going to that was hectic. That was a very, very hectic start.
Yeah. Alright, let's get off him for a moment. So we're still under yellow flag conditions. So it's Gage Gonzalez though, leading the way. So Gage Gonzalez leading the way from Tyler Marlowe, Coffin, Kenneth Smith, Afonso, I'm not Jimmy, and Drew Stanley just changed positions. So I've got yellow flags, but it looks like we are still racing, Joe.
Yeah, we are there. So it's still racing, still on.
Yeah.
It's I think there's still so many stricken cars around the track.
Yep, we're good.
Kept the yellow flag up.
All right. Here's I'm not Jimmy. We'll go back to that battle between him and Drew Stanley. Side by side through turn 10. Runs a little bit wide, but you can do that. Plenty of runoff at that part of the track. It looks like he's got that move done. So I'm not Jimmy. Moves up into P6. Drops Drew Stanley down into P7. And he's going to be able to hold that spot. So nice move from I'm not Jimmy. And it looks like Stanley just had a little bit of trouble coming off turn 1 there, but he's all good now. So no dramas with him there. So we look down in P10. We've got Sean Vincent. He's chasing down Chris Bossick. in P9, P10. But right now, out in front, it is Gage Gonzalez. 1.3 seconds is the gap between him and Tyler Marlowe. 2.6 back, 2.6 seconds back is Coffin, Retro Coffin. As we're watching Vincent giving chase to Bosick there in the McLaren. And they've got Matthew Point just up ahead of them. Pretty tight battle here. I might go to the front though, because that is where the action is also. You can see if Vincent can get this pass done before then. Doesn't look like it. No. Alright, so here it is. So Gage Gonzalez in P1. His last lap was a 45.4. A 45.7 to Tyler Marlowe. So obviously it's still pretty early days in this one. That's the gap out in front right now between Gage Gonzalez. It's 1.3 seconds in fact after this lap round. Let's see what lap times were that time around. So 45.1 to Gage Gonzalez. Tyler Marlowe though with a 44.9, so a couple of tenths quicker on that trip around. So hopefully, Joe, we see a challenge for Gage in this race.
That would be really good to see. Yeah, it's going to be a good battle between these two.
Right, we'll quickly flick over to Sean Vincent though, because he's chasing down Chris Bosick in the McLaren as we're on board with Bosick now. Vincent looking to send it up the inside at the inner loop. That is fraught with danger going side by side through there, but they both make it through without any dramas on this one. Plenty of time left, well over 50 minutes, 53 and a half minutes in fact left, and Vincent doing everything he can to get past Bosick. I'll have a look at some of the movers and the shakers. We've got up 8 spots Matthew Point in the BMW. He's currently sitting in P8. John Rohrer also up 8 spots, so he's had a good start too. Up 4 to More Important, to Mazik up 6, Bradley up 7, and you got Jacobs there as well. He's moved up 5 spots, but yeah, unfortunately for Christian Graniero, down 14 spots in P19 right now. So not an enjoyable race for him so far today. And Tyler Marlowe with the fastest lap on that last one around. He's up 1 spot in P2. So it gives us a bit of an idea of the field. Almost 10 minutes into this one, and we're watching Sean Vincent and Chris Bosick. They've got Matthew Point in the BMW just up ahead. Been lapping very similar as well. You can see a 47.877 to Bosick, 47.8 to Sean Vincent. So pace very, very similar to one another. So this should set us up for quite a nice battle, as Bosick now just making a move on Point. And Vincent's going to try and get a piece of this as well as they go into the inner loop. And that's a nice move by Bosick. We might have a quick look at that again. Oh no, he's crushed it as I was looking for the replay button. Do I catch right at the very end of it? Oh, he's gone around by himself and bang into the wall. Oh no, that's brutal. So unfortunate for him. That was Bosick, I think, in the where he's getting going again now. So unfortunate for him.
And Drew Caution had a moment on that lap then as well, so he found himself in the fence and big damage.
And he's in the pits
at the moment.
Yep.
Give you an update on that incident from lap 1. Just looking at the replay, top 7 cars got through, and then I would be surprised if any car after that got through without damage.
Wow. That's like 18 cars.
That was massive.
Yeah.
So it's very, very spectacular footage we had to get from that. like you to post that. But won't mention any drivers. It's not our place to do that, but in a very, very tight section of track there, there's just nowhere to go with cars.
Yeah.
Sideways and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's John Rohrer and Drew Stanley. Let's see if we can quickly see what happened there. Oh, he's just lost it by himself. Oh no, and you had that was Rohrer, I think, had gone around as well before he came through, so maybe that put him off. And because I was watching Vincent and Point coming through, and I wonder if that damage is new or on Point, or if that was already there, as Vincent all over the back of him now, trying to get past. I'm Not Jimmy, there's some action with him too. He's chasing down Alfonso. Skip over to that momentarily. Where is that? Here it is, between him and Alfonso. So this is 5th and 6th. I'm Not Jimmy there. In the bright pink Aston Martin. Loves his pink. John Rohrer. What's happened to John Rohrer? Has he gone around somewhere? Oh, I think that was...
Oh, that damage in his car.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just struggling to get it around. I wouldn't be surprised if he's left or right hand down.
Alright, and then we got some more action between Vincent and Point, so they're only separated by 0.3 of a second. Out in front though, just giving you an update, it's 1.3 seconds the gap between Gonzalez and Marlowe. So Gonzalez, his last lap was a 45.077. The last lap around for Marlowe was a 45.2. So that gives you an idea on pace, as Vincent certainly has the pace. He goes into the inner loop and he takes that position away from Matthew Point. Nice move from Sean Vincent. We should have a look at that again. We're just seeing just at the end of it. So nice driving from Sean Vincent. He moves himself up into P7. He's got I'm Not Jimmy a little bit further up the road from him, but race has settled down now. We're almost a quarter of the way through. That was a spectacular crash at the beginning of the race. There's a bit of confusion of if we were racing, if we weren't racing, but we're certainly racing now, and we've still got the majority of the field running. I think we've got 24. So considering how big of a crash that was at the beginning, I think it's a pretty good job to have 24 drivers still in the field right now, and one of them is Matthew Point, who's chasing down Sean Vincent as John Rohrer makes his way into the pits to repair that damage that was quite extensive.
Chris Bosic has got a stop-go 30. So he's completed his compulsory pit stop. He's got a drive-through and 30-second stop penalty.
I think that's just a little bit of salt in the wound for him. Brad Lee, I think he's had a little bit of a moment. Let's see what happened to him. Oh yeah, he's just whacked the wall there. I think that was up through maybe out of 2 or 3, I think it might have been. No, out through maybe through turn 10. But anyway, he's down in P14 there. I'm Not Jimmy is all over the back of Alfonso now. So I'm Not Jimmy is on a bit of a charge right now. Oliver Jacobs, there's something wrong with him a little bit further up from these guys. Maybe he's coming into the pits perhaps, I'm not too sure, but I'll stick with this action here as I'm Not Jimmy chasing down Alfonso in the Mercedes, coming through turn 8 here. Chase the Mercedes versus the Aston. 2 front engine cars. Aston got a little bit of a BOP jump as well in the last update that came through not so long ago. Can be quite difficult to drive with a very loose rear end. The last time I tried it anyway, so I'm not Jimmy. Doesn't look like he has any of those issues. Oh, Alex Afonso did though. He just got a little bit loose there through turn 1, and that was enough to open up the door, and I'm not Jimmy walked straight through. So he takes another position. He's up into P5, so he's had a great start to this one. As we approach the first 15 minutes, so it's Gage, Gonzalez, Marlowe, Coughlin, Smith, and I'm not Jimmy. That's your top 5. Then Afonso, Vincent, Point, Claudio, and Drew Stanley is your top 10. We had a pretty big crash at the beginning there. As we're watching Drew Stanley now chasing down Claudio. I'm going to call you Claudio because I don't want to butcher your surname every time I say it. Let's have a look at pace between these two. So a 48.3 the last time out for Claudio, a 48 flat for Drew Stanley. I'm assuming that Claudio could be of Italian heritage, given the Italian flag next to his name, and Drew Stanley, American there. So they're in Italy this week for the Formula One.
Yeah, let us know if anyone can track what the grid positions are going to be for the start of the race. It's hard to follow all the penalties from that.
It does kind of get to that point where you just zone out, and I'll just wait till I'll wait till they form up on the grid on Sunday night. But yeah, I do lose a bit interest. I do zone out when I hear all that rubbish. So they've got another car up ahead of them. That looks like that's a Nissan. That's got the blue flags. I wonder if that's Trey Lance. As sneak through there. So I've just lost track. Yeah, so Claudio. Drew Stanley. Yeah, they're still behind each other. So Stanley chasing him down. So he's just working his way past the Nissan.
Fair bit of damage on that Nissan.
Yeah. Certainly got a lot of battle scars all over. I don't think there's a panel on it that doesn't have a... So Stanley able to move past there from Claudio. So he's into P9 now. And then the Aston Martin just behind these guys. That's Tomazic, Stephen Tomazic. I hope that's how I pronounce his surname. My apologies if it isn't. As John Cannon makes his way into the pits. Might step away from this scrap here and get to the front of the field. So this is the battle for P1 right now. So Gage Gonzalez in the red Honda there in a very familiar position, as we've seen him a lot in Pan Am in P1. But Tyler Marlowe is certainly not letting him get away. So just having a look at some of the pace there, a 45.952 on the last lap around, a 45.5 to Tyler Marlowe. So he is all over the back of Gage Gonzalez right now. It's less than a second. Runs a little bit wide there. They've got a back marker making his way, getting himself out of the way. That was 21, I believe. Might have been Chris Rise there. And this is a genuine battle right now for P1 and P2 between Gonzalez and Marlowe. So this is great to see. We've seen Gage walk away with a few victories last time we've done Pan Am racing. So nice. I'm sure he'd be appreciating being pushed a little bit harder.
Gage just ran wide then, so the pressure's definitely on. This is great battle. I do remember Marlowe being in the mix early in the Kyalami race from a while ago.
So Marlowe just having a little bit of a, just popping his head out, just having a look down the inside there into turn 1, but nothing doing. They try and tuck into the slipstream now. So they go up through 3 and 4 onto the back straight. So this will be approaching the inner loop. Marlowe all over the back of him. And can't quite get it done into the inner loop. So Gonzalez will continue to lead, but Marlowe definitely stating his case right now. He's half a second faster again on that previous lap, so he certainly has the pace to challenge Gonzalez for the lead as Gonzalez runs a little bit wide again. He was on the grass for a bit there too. Was that enough to slow him down to get Marlowe past? Not on this occasion, but he's pushing Marlowe right now. He's all over the back of that Honda. And this is great stuff.
Battle. This is great battle.
Just having a look at lap times there as well, but Marlowe seems to have just slipped back a little bit there, so might have made a little mistake there that just enabled Gonzalez to eke that lead out a little bit further, and that's reflected in the lap times as well. So a 47.8 the last time around from Gonzalez, a 48.3 to Marlowe. So that was a little bit more of a slower lap there from Marlowe, and you can see that gap is at a second now. Here's the closest two cars on the circuit, as the rest of the field is relatively well spread out now. As we've gone over a third race distance, so track's still optimum, 24 degrees air temperature, 33 degrees track temperature, no wind, no rain to speak of on the horizon. So sunshine and blue skies as Drew Stanley making his way in there as well into the pit. So a few guys have pitted already. Tomazic, Lee, Jacobs, Bosick, Grenario, Cannon all made their stops. And yeah, so the race has just settled down a little bit. We had drama aplenty in the beginning. Now it's starting to settle into a nice little rhythm. We'll have a look at those position deltas once again. So Vincent and Point having a great start. Henry Moore up 8 spots. Tomazic, Bradley. So lots of big movers, and then we had a few dropping as well, so it sort of started to even itself out a little bit too. But approaching the halfway mark, and it's these two out in front, Gonzalez and Marlowe. That last lap around, Gonzalez did a 45.6 compared to a 46 flat from Marlowe, so Gonzalez just has picked up the pace a little bit in recent laps, but still holds a 1.8 second gap now, so that has grown significantly since we come right to these two. And saying that, maybe have a look at Afonso here. So he's chasing down I'm Not Jimmy. It's 1.3 seconds the gap between those two, giving a bit of an idea on lap time. So I'm Not Jimmy at 147.3 on his last 372, sorry, on his last lap at 147.3 flat from Afonso. So nothing in it between these two. Very similar paces. Henry Moore makes his way into the pit, so he's coming in from P9. So he'll make his stop and get back underway. Get back to this action between Jimmy and Afonso. And we'll keep an eye on that gap at the front too. So 1.8 seconds is the gap between Gonzalez and Marlowe.
Yeah, Marlowe's just dropped off. He's had a few moments and there's been a bit of lap traffic in bits and pieces. So hope that battle gets tighter again.
Alright, just scanning down. There's not much other action there. The field is heavily spread right now. So lots of big gaps. We've got guys coming into the pits. Kenneth Smith, he's making his way into the pits from P4, so one of the front runners.
Something I was going to comment on lap 1, right? Got distracted by the carnage there was. But Henry Moore pulled off from the rear of the field and entered into the pits. Might have looked like it's going green. And he's running P9, I think.
10, I believe, on my timing screen anyway.
Yeah, P10, sorry, and he's just exited pit lane, and he's got his pit stop done. So it's a bit of a masterstroke going through pit lane on lap 1, and he's missed all of that drama that has happened a few corners up the road.
Well, perhaps maybe she should go buy a lotto ticket as well then, if he's able to predict. Maybe he had a hunch there might have been a bit of action with 25 cars on the grid all filtering into turn 1 at Watkinks Glen, and he's made the decision to come into the pits, and it looks like it's paying off for him, because he's got 3, 6, 7 cars above him that all still need to pit. And in terms of car in front, it's 22 seconds between him and Drew Stanley, and Matthew Point is currently in the pits right now. So we saw him battling earlier on with Vincent. We'll see if he's able to take Point here. He's just coming through out of 9, just through 9 now into 10. Oh, no, that's not it. Matthew Point's still in there. And I reckon Henry Moore is going to get him here. Car still stationary. Car number 29. And there we go. Henry Moore coming through. So he moves up another spot. He'll move into P9. So nice work from him. And he's still got Jimmy, Afonso and Vincent up ahead. All yet to pit so far.
Towards the end of that previous lap, Oliver Jacobs, the second last corner, has just grabbed a bit of the inside curve, and it's unsettled the Porsche, and he's put him into the inside fence. So it's happened a bit in this race around the circuit that the contact with the curbs of unsettling cars, and it's had dire consequences.
Alright, I think we've got a little bit of action kicking off here. This is Tomazic, and that's Claudio making his way through. Tomazic, I believe, Stephen Tomazic. I'm going to go with that. Sorry if I've mispronounced that, but he drops down into P12, so nice work from Claudio to move himself up into P11, so almost a top 10 runner right now. Gap out in front between P1 and P2, Tyler Marlowe and Coffin. Between Gonzalez, and Marlowe is 1.3 seconds. As Oliver Jacobs makes his way into the pits. What about P5? This is Afonso, so he's 1.3 seconds behind. I'm not Jimmy, just having a look at times there. So Jimmy did a 47.537. Andre was 4 tenths faster on that one there. So picking up a little bit of ground there on the Aston Martin. These two have been scrapping it out for a little while now as we approach the halfway mark. Nearly all cars have made a stop, bar 8 so far, I believe, at least 8. The majority of the field has pitted already. The top 6, have not yet, so we'll have to wait for them. Having a look at what we should expect on pit stop lengths, say around about the 65 to 68 seconds. Looks like it's sort of optimal time right now, so we can keep that number in mind when the top guys are making their pit stops, especially Gonzalez and Marlowe as well. But at 65 to 70 seconds looks like it's about the range right now.
Just got real tight at the front of the field as well. It's back down to 3/10. So that's perfect.
Yeah, that last lap around, Gonzalez did a 46.4. Marlowe was over a second quicker, a 45.420. So 7/1000ths of a second quicker. A second. 1 second and 1,000 quicker. As Alfonso, only he's gotten through from I'm Not Jimmy's in the pits. So we should keep an eye on that as well, because those two were scrapping it out and Vincent making his way through. So just the remaining drivers making their stops.
Gage just had a big moment. He's just crashed.
Let's see if I can pick that up. Here we go. Oh, he's just ran wide by himself. Almost turned it around. What was that out of? I'm trying to see. Was that out of the outer loop, potentially? Yeah, he did that all by himself there, Joe.
That's that's a big surprise. I would say that's almost the first time I've seen him.
Zandvoort.
Like
Zandvoort, we saw him make a mistake on the last lap, but he was like a minute clear.
The occasional mistake, but he's been able to survive previously, and that's the first time I've seen him. Big damage on a car, so.
And here he goes.
He's in pits now.
Alright, so Marlowe will continue on. Now, just having a look at I'm Not Jimmy. So he's back out there in 6th spot. Alfonso, he's in 4th. So we'll see if he decides to come into the pits on this lap and respond to I'm Not Jimmy. No, he doesn't. So he still has his stop to make. Keep an eye on the pit stop times as well. So Gonzalez is currently in the pits right now. That's where he is. 65 to 70 seconds has generally been the time. But we'll keep an eye on that. And all bar 3 cars after that, 4 cars will be required to make their stops. Gonzalez now is on his way. Just want to try and get this what he has for his pit stop once he gets out of there. That's the Porsche. I wonder if that's retro coffin in there. So that's a long stop, Joe. 79.9 seconds, almost 80 seconds to stop. So almost sort of 10 to 15 seconds longer. And retro coffin there was 10 seconds faster. So he's been able to jump Gonzalez there. This is 4 position between these two. Retro coffin in the Porsche there, but Gonzalez now in P4. Obviously Marlowe and Alfonso still need to make their stops, but essentially it's retro coffin and Gonzalez in would be 2nd and 3rd if Marlowe's able to hold on to P1, but we'll have to wait and see for him to make his stop. But Gonzalez obviously having to repair some damage in there. Not shown in the pit stop length. certainly big pressure on Retro Coffin here. It's going to be no easy feat to keep Gonzalez behind him. Both so the advantage that he does have is that they both just come fresh out of their stop. So he'll be going through the same thing as Gonzalez is in terms of getting the tyres back up to pressure. In the meantime, just keeping an eye on Marlowe. He's just coming through turn 8 now. So just check if he pits on the next one. As Gonzalez now already having a look at Coffin to head into turn 1. I wonder if Gonzalez might be a little bit sort of hesitant now, knowing that he almost turned that car around by himself. Might have made a little bit of a mistake. Might second guess himself. He's all over the back of Coffin right now as they head up the back straight. And looks like Gonzalez is going to be able to get that move done just before the inner loop there. Nice move from Gonzalez, so he gets that done. So he moves up into P3. Will he be able to move himself up into P1 once Marlowe pits? And Marlowe pits right now. There he is. So you keep an eye on that, Joe. I'll keep an eye on Gonzalez, who's being hassled by Coffin.
On it.
So Marlowe still in the pits here. They're coming through turn 8. Well, approaching turn 8 now. So, as mentioned, Gonzalez was about an extra 15 seconds more in the pits. Don't think
Marlowe's on his way.
Wow, that's a quick stop. Check it once he comes out. And here's Gonzalez coming through turn 11 now. So 68.3 seconds. So 11 seconds faster. 11 and a half seconds faster than Gonzalez. So that little mistake that he made where he just scraped the wall, he's had to repair the damage. That's had a big effect on Gonzalez's race. And he's got plenty of work to do in the final 23 minutes of this one. We've got Drew Stanley, who's gone around, so I think he's gone back into the pits. And Tomazic as well has some dramas. So Drew Stanley teleported back to the pits, and Tomazic looks like he's got some steering issues there as well. So in the meantime, though, this man here is leading the race. Andre Alex Afonso. Let's see if he decides to come to the pits. He was battling it out with I'm Not Jimmy earlier on, and he will continue for another lap. So that's our race leader. This man here, Tyler Marlowe, he's in P2, but he's made his stop. Afonso hasn't. So he will effectively take the race lead once Afonso decides to pit. And this man here, Gonzalez, who put it on pole position again, was running in the lead, made a little bit of a mistake, and gave up the lead to Marlowe. Sits currently in P3 on the track, but it's a net P2. And then that Porsche behind him, that's Retro Coffin. So that's essentially your podium right now. Marlowe, Gonzalez, and Coffin. As Henry Moore, oh, he had such a, I think that's happened at turn 1. Yeah, just hit the bump there. There is actually a little bump in the track there, which can unsettle the car too. So it looks like that might have happened to him as he's gotten back underway. So he's down there in P10 right now. Might have a look at John Cannon. He's in 14th position. He's a second behind Christian in the Audi there. That Nissan, what was that belong to? Oh no, that's Christian. Yeah, that's Christian. Sorry. Is that a lapped car? Car number. Just trying to catch the car number there. So I've got on my timing screen a Porsche, then a Lamborghini. Alright, I think I'm a little bit out of whack here. Let's get back to this little... Oh, that was Gonzalez running wide again out of turn 9. So he's certainly pushing hard. Just having a look at the gap to the leader is about almost 40 seconds now for Gonzalez. No, sorry, 27 and a half seconds, sorry. It's almost 40 seconds back to P3 as Oliver Jacobs now. He is all over the back of Fon in the Aston Martin. And they've got McLaren there, but I think that McLaren is lapped. Might be lapping them potentially. But this is down for 14th and 15th. Christian as well, all over the back of John Cannon. So we've got a couple of little scraps down there in the midfield. This is Christian and John Cannon. Cannon now, less than 20 minutes, so we've gone 2/3 race distance. It's Afonso, who's actually in the pits now. Let's see if he comes out in front of I'm Not Jimmy. That's going to be the interesting part. That's not I'm Not Jimmy. He's coming through turn 8 now. Afonso, currently still stationary in the pits. This is going to be interesting as Tyler Marlowe comes through. He inherits the lead. Gonzalez and Coffin will be through in no time. So will Kenneth Smith. Will I'm Not Jimmy be able to get through though? That's going to be the big question. That's who essentially he's racing right now. Afonso is still stationary. And that is I'm Not Jimmy just coming through now. And he will take that spot. So staying at that extra time there hasn't paid off there for Afonso. It looks like Fon. I think that might have been coming out of turn 1 or turn 2. Yeah, he's just might have hit the wall somewhere there. So he's down there in 15th position. Back to this little battle here between Cannon and Christian Granero.
Just quickly, Gage, quickest lap of the race on the previous lap, and he was 9/10 of a second quicker than Marlowe. So it would need to stay with that sort of pace for the rest of this race to catch up to first spot.
And that's 7/10 faster. His fastest lap is 7/10 faster than Marlowe's as well. So that's rapid.
It's so rapid. So I wonder if there was a little bit of damage already for Gage prior to the pit stop, which is where why Tyler was able to put so much pressure on Gage and force that mistake. Or it's either that or Gage is just putting everything into it now to catch up.
Well, the gap is at 9.6 seconds right now between those two. There's Henry Moore. That's a Mercedes going through, so I think that's a lap car, so I think he was just getting out of the way for him coming through, so that's all sorted. But here's Granario down in P12. I think he's just getting out of the way as well. But here's Gonzalez, so 44.2, his last lap around. We'll have to see what he does this time. But the gap between him and Marlowe at 9.4 seconds. Looks like he's up on his best time too, so he is looking like he's trying to respond right now. 9.2 seconds, 9.1. So the chase is on for the final quarter hour of this one. It's Tyler Marlowe leading from Gage Gonzalez, Retro Coffin in P3, Kenneth Smith in 4th, and I'm Not Jimmy's worked his way all the way up into P5. So great race for him. 6th is Andre Alex Afonso, Sean Vincent in 7th, Claudio in 8th, Henry Moore in 9th, and Chris Bosick in 10th position. That rounds out our top 10 right now, and that gap is still at 9.4 seconds. Last lap around, a 44.697 to Marlowe, a 44.590 to Gonzalez. So he has gone quicker, but he's going to need to be taking more than a tenth a lap out of him at this stage, with only a tick over 14 minutes remaining in this one before it's all wrapped up.
Diallo Fon, who's less than a second behind Dixon Hurst, has got a stop go 30, so that will end that battle pretty quickly.
Through the field, so they've got the two closest cars out on the circuit. Christian Granero and John Cannon. 1.8 seconds the gap between those two. So he's making his way through turn 8, the right-hander. And I believe that's Gage Gonzalez in the back there in the red Honda. So he'll get the red flags waving. No, not the red flags, the blue flags for the red car waving. There they are. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen. This is a flash past. So go through turn 10. We haven't seen anyone have any dramas through turn 10 or 11 this race. He does his best to get out of the way. Nice work there from Christian. And he lets Gonzalez go through. So last lap around for Gonzalez is a 44.952, and Marlowe did a 45.330, so 4/10 faster that lap around for Gonzalez. So he's catching it got down to 8.9 seconds. Currently at, there it is, 8.9, flicking between 8.9 and about 9.2 right now, so still sizable. And that extra 11 seconds in the pit lane has certainly cost Gonzalez dearly here. He would have been all over the back of, if not in front of Marlowe at this stage, as he's just coming up on a little bit of lap traffic, just doing his best to get through it all.
That's pretty hairy, that.
Yeah.
Trying to get through that bit of lap traffic. He's lost about 7/10 on this lap to Marlowe here.
Yeah, not doing his chances any good right now on that one. But yeah, let's have a quick look at in terms of who's risen the most. But I'm Not Jimmy, up 3 spots there in 5th position. Vincent, he's gained 6. Henry Moore, he's gained 8. So as you pointed out, Joe, he came into the pits on lap 1 to get himself out of the carnage that did ensue not long after turn 1. He's moved his way up the field nicely. Tomazic and Jacobs, they're up 8 positions. Yes, so some big movers, and unfortunately for Drew Stanley, he's lost 9 spots And then the one that I guess that matters significantly is Gonzalez. He's dropped 1 from P1 to P2. Marlowe's made his way up into P1 from P3. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how this one's progressed so far. We had carnage at turn 1, lap 1. I think Joe pointed out about all bar 7 cars made it through without getting some kind of damage. The man on screen was one of them. But he came unstuck a little bit later in the race of his own doing. And it has cost him significantly because he had to spend about an extra 10 seconds in the pits. 10, 11 seconds in the pits. And that's the story for him right now. He's 9.6 seconds, 9.5 from Tyler Marlowe with less than 10 minutes left in this one. Unless there's a massive failure from Marlowe, he's got less than 10 minutes to put this one in the books. And I think this will be the first race that we've done, Joe, where Gage Gonzalez hasn't won, I think.
I think you're right about that. Again, like, it'd be massive commentator's curse if Marlowe now hangs it on the fence, but seems pretty well in control here, yeah, he's done a really good job here. I'd almost go as far as saying this is one of the first times I've seen someone put real pressure on Gonzalez that late into a race, which is really good to see. Very unfortunate for Gonzalez. We're hoping to see that battle continue on through to the rest of the race.
Alright, so we're having a look at here at Christian and John Cannon. This is down in 11th and 12th between these two. Oh, he runs a little bit wide there, Christian. And he's going to put a big dent in his charge for taking position P11 away. And still 9.4 seconds is the gap between Gonzalez and Tyler Marlowe. So it's not really coming down at anywhere near the rate that it needs to for Gonzalez to even challenge Marlowe. And Marlowe certainly showed the pace throughout. His fastest lap was a 44.485. That was still 2/10 slower than Gonzalez, but their current pace right now, a 45 flat to Marlowe on the last lap around, 45.5 to Gonzalez. So just off the pace right now, and yeah, this is looking pretty good for Tyler Marlowe right now with a tick over 7.5 minutes remaining. He's in the box seat to take out victory. Great field. We started with 25. We've got 21 remaining. I think that's pretty good considering the incident that we had at the very beginning of the race. But this has been good. No weather to affect this one now. Track temperature still optimum. 32 degrees track, 24 degrees air temperature. Slight wind, but nothing too hectic at this stage. Henry Moore just getting himself out of the way there for I'm Not Jimmy. The gap between him and Afonso, so I'm Not Jimmy and Afonso were racing earlier on. Afonso decided to stay out a lot longer than Jimmy, and it hasn't necessarily paid off for him. So Afonso did lead the race at one stage, and I'm Not Jimmy has definitely won that little battle between those two. So he's currently sitting P5. He's 9.1 seconds ahead of Afonso, and just having a look at lap times there, a 45.7 to Afonso in the last one compared to a 46.8 to I'm Not Jimmy. So Jimmy certainly feeling quite comfortable out there, on track for a top 5 finish as we approach the final stages of this one. Gap down to 7.6 seconds, so that last lap around, we'll check it now, we'll get the latest. So a 45.335 on that lap for Marlowe, a 45.3, and Gonzalez, what does he do? A 45 flat. So taking sort of little bite-sized chunks out of Marlowe right now. It's 8.1 seconds the gap with a tad under 6 minutes remaining. I wonder what's going through Tyler Marlowe's mind right now. Does it become a case of, oh, I'm doing good here, I'm out in front, I'm winning, to hang on, he's starting to catch me a bit, can I hang on? And that could maybe force a little mistake as Gonzalez.
It's lucky to hold that.
Drifting.
Luckily for Tyler, there's actually clean air ahead of him. Whereas for Gonzalez, there's a couple of lap cars. And it's a bit hairy getting past some of them, but it's just a part of the track that he's catching them, and some of them are in their own battles as well, and there's a fair difference in pace between the field. But it's been pretty clean with blue flags.
Yeah, it is a difficult track for that. It is quite tight, so yeah, it can be a little bit difficult giving way, and especially if you are in your own little scrap as well. So we've gone into the final 5 minutes. The gap is 7.6 seconds now. We'll wait for Marlowe to cross the line. We'll get his latest lap time, which is a 45.7, and Gonzalez goes a 45.147. So the gap down to 7.6 seconds now. He went just over half a second quicker than Marlowe on that last lap. So as we saw him making his way through the bus stop last time, Gonzalez was pushing extremely hard. So he's giving it his absolute everything. He's not going to give this up without a fight. He's got the monumental task ahead of him though. Because I'm not Jimmy. No dramas for him. That's alright. But this man here, Marlowe, he's leading this one with 3.5 minutes left. Do we have a little bit of contact down here? I think we do. What's happening between these fellas? Burton. What's going on there? Oh, that's at the bus stop there. And Bradley as well in there. So, and this is Drew Stanley. He's had a bit of an issue. We just got the right end of it there. He's gone into the wall there. Back to live pictures.
Tried to drift through there like Gonzalez. Quite hold it there.
What's the expression? Talent didn't match
ambition.
Yeah, ambition. That's it. Yeah, we've all been there. That's for sure. All right, Tyler Marlowe about to cross the line. What's his time? A 45.5. Gage Gonzalez. 44.767. So the chunks are getting bigger by the lap, but the time is unfortunately dwindling away for Gage Gonzalez right now. So he's giving it absolutely everything. He's probably got another couple of laps, I reckon. At this stage, they've been circulating in the 145s. We've got 2 minutes on the clock, so I reckon probably 2 more laps is all he has left to give it everything that he's got. It's 7.1 seconds the gap between those two. Well, down to 6.7 now after I say that. Between those two, with a minute 40 left. He's going to push it all the way. Marlowe hanging on. Retro Coffin, he's in P3, so he's got Kenneth Smith behind him 10.5 seconds down the road. So probably a bit of a lonely old race for old Retro down there in the Porsche. He's got another Porsche for company, but that's not racing him. Not too sure who that is. I think it's car number 30. That's Renario. But yeah, he's had a decent race as well, Retro. But yeah, this man out in front, Tyler Marlowe, runs a little bit wide through turn 10. Oh, wouldn't that be a killer if he gets a penalty for track limits. But he's going to begin his final lap, and look at that.
The leader is on the final lap.
That's
The final push.
Gonzalez in the background, so he can see him so tantalizingly close. He'll be kicking himself, thinking that little mistake has cost him a shot at the win here. Car number 9, Matthew Point. He's had an issue. Oh, that's a big hit at the bus stop there. So that's the repercussions of that one. That is not looking good. So he's hit the wall pretty hard there. And Gage Gonzalez has gone around as well. Let's see if I can catch what happened to him. Oh, he's facing the wrong way at turn 2. So he must have lost it out of turn 1, as we've seen so many happen to. And there's Retro Coffin going through. So Retro Coffin, this is a gift for him coming through into the bus stop. He is in P2 now. So Gonzalez makes another mistake late in this one, and that's robbed him of any chance of a victory. But it's also dropped into P3 on the podium. So probably the most mistakes we've seen him make in all of the races that we streamed for Pan Am. But this man here, he didn't really make any mistakes in this race. This is Tyler Marlowe. He's just got a couple more corners to come through, and he's going to take out victory. He's been able to hold him off. He was there when he needed to be, and as he crosses the line now, he's going to take out victory. Congratulations, Tyler Marlowe. Looks like he's pretty excited about it.
Finished the race.
Well done to him. Retro Coffin with that late race gift from Gage Gonzalez. So be lucky. You got to make your own luck. He was there, right place, right time. He's got one more turn to make, and he's going to take home P2 on the podium as he navigates turn 11 without any dramas, and he crosses the line, flashing the lights. He's pretty happy about that. Well done to Retro Coffin. Gage Gonzalez gave it everything towards the end there. Couldn't quite get it together. He comes home in P3. Kenneth Smith, we barely saw you, Kenneth. Just had a lonely race down there in P4. I'm Not Jimmy. Well done to him. He takes home P5, top 5 finish. Nothing to sneeze at here. This is Andre Afonso. So he gave chase to Jimmy all the way to the end there. Vincent, he's had another solid race for him. He's down in P7 right now, so he has one more turn to make to solidify that position. Congratulations to him as he makes his way through there, and he'll be chased all the way to the end there from Claudio, who's already in the pits. Then we had Henry Moore in 9th position. Congratulations to Henry. Chris Bosick, he came home in 10th. Then you got Cannon, Christian, Tomazak, Oliver Jacobs, Drew Stanley, Hurst, Fond, Borton, Point, Donnelly, Lee, and Chris Rice. So 22 finishes of the 25, and this man finished P1 in all of them. Congratulations to Tyler Marlowe, Retro Coffin in P2, and Gage Gonzalez in P3. Well,
yeah, it was a great race that. Congratulations, Tyler. That was really, really good effort. Same to Retro. Unfortunate to Gage that he was pushing so hard at the end there. He's grabbed the inside curb at turn 2, and it just unsettled the car, and it was a big impact with the fence. So, yeah, it was unlike Gage. It's still on the podium. It was still a good finish, and yeah, plenty of action in that race. I think Watkins will be a track that will provide plenty of action.
Yeah.
And it'd be good to go back and have a look at the replays of the first lap.
Yes. Might be some interesting findings coming out through there as well. So, but well done to everyone. That wraps up proceedings for this week. Thanks to Pan Am again. Joe, thank you very much. It was good to be back in the saddle with you again. We've got the Race on Oz Season 3 kicking off, not tomorrow night, but Monday week.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, Monday week.
A couple of weeks still.
Yeah, I think the 19th of September. is when it's all going to kick off again. Teams Championship. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good fun. So join us for that. But in the meantime, everyone take care of yourself. Stay safe.